What's going on, guys? It's your boy Troy Weeks Music here, and you're listening live now to Free Yourself Saturdays. Free Yourself, I just want to start out, like I always do, by telling you what Free Yourself is all about. It's a vision that God gave me to give people a platform. I call it the People's Platform, to give you guys an opportunity to be able to really speak your mind and say what's on your heart and be able to do it in a place that's open, safe, with a no judgment zone. Free Yourself is the final step of the process. It's the release, the woosah, the moment where you cross over and transition from being the victim to the victor. All the steps needed to get to this point should have been covered by this point. You should now be ready for the rebirth of your new beginning. If you're thinking that you're not quite ready to free yourself, then that's fine. The moment when you are ready, we'll be ready for you here, and it won't be taken lightly because the awakening depends on you. In this segment, we let people come in so they can publicly free themselves from what's been holding them down or stopping them from being great in their life and moving forward. Freeing yourself is the symbolizing of letting go of that stronghold and having the power over it. Doing it publicly allows you to tell that situation, that thing, that through the power of spoken word, you're not going to event you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is live for Yourself with Troy Weeks Music. The reason we're going live is because I have a very special friend of ours to the show, Savage Media Radio, one of our co-hosts and very dear friends. Carlos Dillard is right now being wrongfully detained in a precinct in Seattle, Washington. And we are here today to use the platform that God has given us to stand our ground. Free Yourself was also created to, not only help you free things in mind. If you have a dirty little secret that you want to air out on air, and honestly, you want to air out your sexuality to your family and just let them know, hey, this is who I am, and I'm not living in a box. I'm tired of being, this is who I am, and I'm happy to be me. This is the place for you. Have somebody done you wrong and you just want to be heard? Or you're free and you want to tell others about how to free themselves and you want to motivate other people. That's what the People's Platform for Yourself is all about. That's for you guys. So without further ado, we're going to get things moving. Today's topic, we're talking about how dealing with police and being black in America today. If you haven't been paying attention to what's been going on and zoning in on what I've been talking about on my social media and some of the stuff that we're sharing on Savage Media Radio, again, I'm going to reiterate that Carlos Dillard is he is a co-host of the show. He is partners of Savage Media Radio, and he is wrongfully detained right now in a prison in Seattle, Washington. And I'm really not going to get into the details of that because I want Chris to really get into those details because this is serious. This is real life. This is someone's life, and this is our friend's life, and this is very important. This is not only happening to him. This is happening all over the United States, and something has to be done. We either have to stand for something or fall for anything. And on this call, before we can get to Chris, I also have Miss Coco Blue. She's also the creator of Savage Media Radio, also on the line with us to keep the line moving and also help out if you're in the chat room. She's there. She's here. Miss Coco, how you doing, Miss Lady?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. For those of you listening live, if you want to hear Coco, you actually have to go onto Spreaker.com/Savage Media Radio to let us know that you're there, and that's the only way to listen to us because she's on the podcast. Chris will be on the podcast. Everyone's on the podcast. You will not hear them live. In order to hear them live, you have to log into Spreaker.com/Savage Media Radio. We are now live. I see some people are coming into the live on Instagram. We're now live. If you guys want to tune in, you have to tune in on Spreaker.com to get the full info on what's going on. But I know we have a caller calling in, and this caller is a
He's
very
on with
special.
us.
He's on with us. Okay,
Yes.
I see him. This caller is my cousin, Mr. Justin Castro, aka Just Nice. And I wanted to bring him on. He actually reached out to me to come on, especially after I told him about the topic that we're going to be talking about today. So I want to say shout out to you, Just Nice. You in the building?
What's up, bro?
What's going on? Glad to hear your voice. Thank you so much for tuning in. And,
Justin, quick question.
Yes.
Are you seeing both of us?
I can hear you. I don't see.
Oh, you can't see it. Okay, good, because I'm not, I'm not fully together today. So I want to make sure you couldn't see me because I can see you. So I just wanted to make sure. Okay, cool.
Coco's like, don't see me, my kids.
Right?
Podcast, not a viewing show. All right.
Okay,
so no, you can't see you. You're good. Okay, cool. Thank you so much again for calling in and tuning in and being a part of it. I know that when it comes to that's what I'm talking about. Family first, bro. I appreciate it. Shout out to Daquan. He's been tuning into our cousin Daquan. He's been tuning into our Wednesday night and Saturday night, and he's been giving his input.
Yes, Daquan holding it down.
Holding it down. Shout out to Daquan. So he's been really giving us some power and leaving us with some very very great things that leaving us with some things to think about and some things that we can really share with other people. So we really appreciate that. But in regards to what we're talking about today, if we bring Chris on and really get in depth with that, I know that you have some personal experiences with wrongfully being accused and being detained by the police. And can you just share with us the experience that you had, and just some and give us some details in regards to what was going through your mind, how it felt, all those kind of things, because I think it's important for people to understand that if you're not in that situation, you really don't know what it's like. It's easy to judge and say, oh, that's crazy. How could they do that? But until you're the one in the hot seat with your brain thinking and your mind going, and the camera's on you, or the actions going through your mind happening in that moment, then you don't know. So can you sort of take us to that, what was going on, what happened? Just give us a little insight so we know what it's like for you in that moment, especially experiencing that.
Well, when that happened, I was scared. I was like, I didn't know what to do because I know I didn't do anything wrong. So I was like, why are they supposed to be protecting me? And I felt like there was no justice. And when it came down to it, they just threw the case out like it was nothing. Like I went to court a few times, and it was like, they knew they were wrong, but it was like a thing where it's like, I don't know how much I could speak on this, but it's like they threw the case out, but it was like they wrongfully accused me. They said that they arrested me on the scene of the crime. They lied about that. They came to my house. They came to our grandmother's house, and I was walking in. And I came to the door thinking that they were like just looking for somebody, and then they really just came at me like on some like they was trying to fight me. You know what I mean? I was scared more than anything. So it was like a thing where they supposed to be protecting me. I lost respect for what I thought that the police were. I thought they were supposed to be here to protect us. But in that moment, I just felt so scared, man. Like I was just like, yo, they're gonna kill me. I thought they were gonna kill me, bro.
Wow. So it's like, so at that moment, you were just walking, you were just doing normally what you do. You were going home, and then randomly the police rolled up on you. And you did say that they said during their report that they actually arrested you on the scene of wherever the false crime that they admitted you for. They said in their report that's what they arrested you at, but that's technically not what happened. They actually rolled up on you, right?
Yeah.
Hello? You still there?
Basically in the crib. Like I was about to walk inside the house.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So that's something similar to that colorist experience. So in that moment, like it's kind of like in your mind, like you said, I'm trusting the police. I never had you any issues before then with the law in regards to something like that, like wrongfully accused or anything like that. It was only in that moment, like that was the first time that happened to you.
That was the first time that happened to me.
Got you. First time that happened. Got you. So in that moment, that like that's no wonder you thinking like, oh, I'm getting ready to die. What's going on? Because you feel like I'm going home and I'm safe, and not doing anything that you normally shouldn't be doing. You just living life, and next thing you being snatched up, grabbed up, arrested, all kind of things happen. That's kind of crazy. Like, so first of all, I'm sorry that you had to go through that because no one should have to experience anything like that.
Yeah, it was crazy.
You should not have to experience anything like that. And I feel like it's important to know that, you have a place in life and you have a place where you can really, talk back. And I feel like you can really say anything you want about the case as long as it's not something like your case is already closed. They already threw it out. So maybe people don't know these things, that things are like this are happening. Yeah. So maybe talk about it from that standpoint, like in the legalities of it. Like tell us from that standpoint, like you got arrested. How much time did you spend in jail? On top of that, how the case get then ended up from the time you got arrested to the time.
Here's what happened. I got arrested. I went through the bookings. Luckily, my mother, she got me a lawyer, and they bonded me out, and then I had to go to court every couple of months until they showed up. None of the cops showed up who arrested me.
Wow.
So it was like they basically were saying they knew they was wrong, and there was no evidence of, my lawyer. I had a good lawyer. So basically, if I didn't have a good lawyer, like if I just would have had a legal aid, I'd have been going through the system and all of that. But luckily, my mom helped, and there was proof that they had cameras showing where they arrested me at.
Wow. So the cameras is what saved you from really being, completely, charged for these cases pretty much because you had proof via the camera. Like, no, this is what happened,
Yeah,
not what they said. So that's how you
yeah,
got through. Wow.
yeah.
Wow. So what would you say to people out here nowadays who's living this, what things are starting to get, you, things are starting to get worse in a sense because of what's going on with gentrification in certain neighborhoods and things like that. What do you have to say coming from the city, being a city boy, to someone out here nowadays, like these young millennials nowadays? Because I know like you've seen what these kids are like in the city nowadays, and that's what we talked about
Yeah.
last week. The topic was more about how the young kids nowadays have no respect for life, no respect for themselves, and they're out in the street getting crazy with adults, and it's just crazy how it's going on. So, what do you have to say to those young people now, as been there, done that, had that experience? Thank God, case was dropped, you didn't get locked up, for too long, or you didn't spend a certain amount of years in prison because of it. I think that what do you have to say to those young people out there now, like being that you've been there,
Uh,
done that, experienced it?
I gotta say that you gotta watch your surroundings. Always keep your ID on you. Always be alert. Just be alert. Just cooperate with whatever they say, because you don't want to. Even if you're the one that's right, they still are doing their job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like you gotta kind of like go with the flow with that, because if you resist, even if you wasn't wrong, they still don't know. Like, it's up in the air. Like, these cops are not supposed to be doing this, but it's nothing you can do once they get in that mode. Like, it's either fight or flight.
Right, right.
You gotta run, you know what I mean? But like, you run, they might shoot you. It's like you don't have a gun, you don't have nothing. You an innocent person, but they don't think that. They saying you fit the description or anything they going off of. Somebody said they saw you. It could be anything. But my advice is to always be alert. Like,
Okay.
always be alert, because that night could have went so much worse for me. But it's like, thank God that, you know what I mean, it didn't. You
Well,
just always you gotta
definitely.
be alert.
Remember, I definitely understand that. It's definitely important to be alert. I'm definitely taking that away from here. Be definitely alert. For those of you just now tuning in, if you're tuning in to us live on Instagram, we are live on Spreaker.com/Savage Media Radio on our weekly Saturday night podcast. For yourself with Troy Weeks Music. There's some people tuning in live now, so shout out to you guys. Thank you for listening. If you are listening live, please tune in on Spreaker to hear the whole full podcast and what's going on, so you can be tuned in. Yeah. Being alert, I think that's definitely important. For sure, especially
Real
nowadays, because
quick.
I think. Go ahead, Coco.
Real quick, I just want to say something. I want to say how important that your first point was, Justin, was definitely the first instinct when you are approached, unjustly, is to be aggressive and to be combative. The main thing to make it go as smoothly as possible and have the upper hand is to keep calm, follow directions, not be
Hmm.
abrasive in any way. So that's like something that I
Yeah,
really think is important to spread around, is to just obey and do what you have to do to get out of the situation as intact as
yeah.
possible. So that's
Just
definitely something I
cooperate.
I uh, I really do agree with, and thank you for spreading that, because a lot of people are not aware of how much easier that will make your situation. So just wanted to
Yeah,
put
it's
that out
all on
there.
how you react. It's all on how you react. If you
Exactly.
respond the wrong way, it could go a whole nother way. So
Exactly.
it's all about your response, how you respond. If you react in a calm way, they're probably 9 times out of 10 they'll get out your way as quick as you want them to.
That's true. Definitely, for sure. You got to know we have knowledge is power first and foremost. So the more you know, the better it is. And on top of having knowledge is power is know that you have power and utilizing the power that you have. I think people just don't really realize the power that they have within them. First of all, words is power. Utilize those words you have to make the change in your life that you need. You just need to say those things and it'll happen. And so I think that that's what's important. For real, for real. And last but not least, before get things moving, in regards to Carlos's situation. I'm not sure. I'm sure you didn't get a chance to really know what was going on with that. But today, just to give a little more background, Carlos Dillard, he's a reality star on YouTube star. He is also a part of the Savage Media Radio family. He is one of our co-hosts for the Wednesday night The Voices, and as well as Real Shit Fridays with Coco, they host. And so he's being wrongly. Basically, a call was made that they didn't make to the police, and the police showed up, and shit got crazy. And the great thing about phones and technology is it was all on video. And so we have video that doesn't have audio, and we have video that does have audio. So if you guys are tuning in, you can go to our Facebook page, Savage Media Radio Facebook, and you can see the video. Gonna post another video up later tonight. Like the video that you'll see that's there now on the GoFundMe page, and that's the most important thing. There's a GoFundMe page for Carlos. And we're really trying to get Abdullah out of jail, and that's important, to spread the word and help each other, and we're power in numbers. So, with that being said, is there any last words, Justin, you want to give to the people on your way out? Before is there anything that's on your mind, any topic or anything in regards to the situation that's on your mind that you want to get out there before you have a platform?
I feel like a lot of people have been through the same thing I've been through, and we just gotta. There's powers in numbers. We just gotta get together and speak about it. The more people speak out, the more things will change, Like Martin Luther King, he went out and he spoke to the people. You gotta go out and get people together, and everybody who's going through this thing, we can nip it in the bud. We can get it out. We can get it out there if we all team up together. That's what I feel.
Wow, thanks for that. That's so true. And I think that's what and what we're living in right now. I think it's important to understand that we're more powerful together than we are separate. We're living in an age, like I say all the time, social media causes us to be social-less. Even though the keyword is social media, because we are so detached from everyone else, it causes us to not be the social person that we need to be. So I feel like we need to start focusing on not being so social on social media and being more social in person. And start to banding together during times like this, because we need social media now, because without the social media, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah, fact.
We won't be able to have this conversation. We won't be able to, have the platform we have. So we definitely got to give a shout out to social media. But, it's causing us to be social crabs and to just focus on, even in the street, people are walking on the phones and bumping into people and bumping into things because they're on the phone.
Yeah.
So, it's important that we understand that live in the moment, live in the time, live where you are, smell the air, listen to your surroundings. You're going to miss your blessing looking down on that phone. There was this one girl walking one time, and she had this beautiful aura and this hair. She just looked amazing. And I just tried to get her attention to say, you look awesome. And she was so focused on that phone and so focused on what she was doing that she could have missed that whole blessing. I could have been looking to hire someone for a job if I was a businessman. It could have been anything. We too focused on our phones and not focused on life that we get so caught up. And so it's important. Don't put them phones down and focus on, get life. And I feel like one more thing that before Justin goes, I want to get you guys input on this. And you, Coco. I put on my social media early this week, a couple of days ago. Word of the day was ye without sin cast the first stone. And that's a big a verse in the Bible, which is important. But for me, what was important about it is that we have people that's always being judgmental and want to throw stones and want to judge people all the time. And I feel like what's important, what God gave me through that was Operation Hugs Before Stones. So I feel like it's important that before we want to throw stones at somebody or be judgmental to somebody, we need to actually, people just need a hug. People just need to hear I love you. People need to hear I care for you. So I'm before I go to you, Jess, I want to go to Coco in regards to, and this campaign that got, placed on my highway, Operation Hugs Before Stones. Talk to me about that. Like, is this something that what do you think about all of this?
I feel like it's so important to spread the fact that kindness is above all. Kindness should be above all. It definitely goes a long way in any situation, even in the situation that we're talking about right now, being unjustly treated. Kindness goes a long way. And even if you have a kind spirit, I'm a big believer in karma. So if you have a kind spirit, these struggles that you're going through will work out on your end in the long run. And that really is a strong, I guess, attitude that people should be taking on, is just to be kind and to not judge people and not judge a book by its cover, not judge a situation by the outcome. I think that's a really strong message that we really should be using this platform to spread forward. And I also wanted to say, Justin, thank you so much for sharing your story. It's hard to be
Thank you.
honest. It's hard to be honest, and then also, it's legal matter, so it's hard to, you got to kind of walk on eggshells, not know what you're saying,
Yeah.
and you got to watch out what you're saying, and not say too much. So thank you for getting your experience out in such a way where it was clear and concise and people can really take a lot from it. So I wanted to say that we appreciate you coming on
For
and
sure.
Thank
really,
you.
you
Thank you
know,
for letting me share my story.
yes, of course, and we're always interested in the people. We're the people's platform, as Troy has dubbed us, which is a beautiful name. So we definitely want the people to have a voice and to be heard and to know that there's people out there
Empowers
listening.
people.
Exactly, exactly. So I just wanted to thank you for that. But that's my 2 cents.
Yes, ma'am. That's what Coco. See, that's what teamwork's all about.
Uh-huh.
Before we let go, yeah. So Justin, please, I want you to just touch bases on that. About, you've been out saying Cast First Stone Operation. Hugs Before Stones. What do you think about that?
I think that is a very innovative idea, and I congratulate you on that, and I support you on that because I believe you got to kill people with kindness. The best way to do things is the
Yes.
humble way.
Yes.
So humble the people. Everybody needs to take part in something like this. It's positive, and I respect it. I'm 100% behind it.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Thanks so much,
We
Jess.
got you, Troy. We got you.
Listen,
Hey,
I
Tampa
really,
first.
I really appreciate it. God gave me a vision with Free Yourself, and it was important for me to really. I'm always talking about artists have platforms, but they don't use it the way they should. They don't make those. They don't use a lot. You don't utilize it for the reasons that they should, and I feel like that's what the issue is. Nothing wrong with being a celebrity. There's nothing wrong with being a superstar. There's nothing wrong with having a platform. That's awesome. But it's when you use those platforms that God has given you to flip it for the reason that we need, that will be beneficial to everyone else and not just you. Because great, you're making albums, making movies, you're doing it, and you're making this money. But yet, what are you doing with that money in the return? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's great. Everyone goes, oh, invest. Anybody can donate $10,000 to a local, high school. Anybody can donate. But I feel like at the end of the day, it's important to, not just be able to give back locally, but really give back with your time and your energy, not just with your money. So it's important to utilize the platforms that we have. The People's Platform, ladies and gentlemen. Free Yourself Saturdays with Troy's Music. Before you
Yes.
leave, Justin, can you please it's always important that we give people, utilize the platform it is and say, give people your social media, let them know where to find you, all that good stuff, that people know, where to find you. If people have a question, you never know. You
Uh,
might have inspired someone.
I'm on Instagram. It's JUS_2_the_NYC. So it's JUS_2_the_NYC. Just to the NYC. And
Love it.
yep. I go by Just Nice. My album's on iTunes. My album's called Just Do It. It's an EP. So I just been working. That's it, man. Just grinding, trying to bring it all together. I'm putting out an album with my family real soon. Troy's gonna be on there.
Right,
So
that's
yeah,
what
I'll
family
put
does.
that in the future.
Oh, okay. I got to get on that. So we definitely got to put that up. So anything that you have, any promotional stuff, like I always say, throw it our way. We'll get it up for you and we'll promote the shit out of it.
For sure, for sure.
Oh
That's
yeah,
what we do.
that's what I'm talking about.
Stay
I support
savage, baby. That's what we do.
teamwork makes the dream work.
Hell
Amen. Thank you
yeah.
so much. Well, thank you so much, Justin. We appreciate you. You guys know where to
Thank you,
find us.
Justin.
And thank you for
Thank you.
being support. Family has support, and that's what I'm talking about. That's my real blood family, y'all, and he is supporting,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
really appreciate you, and I love you, guys. I love
And
you for that.
Love
Justin,
you too. Yeah.
find me on Facebook and Instagram. I need you on Team Coco. You're super dope. We love your vibe.
Oh
So
yeah. I'm rocking with you. I'm
nice.
gonna follow.
Hey,
Just tell
savage.
Troy, send everything my way. You got it.
I'll make sure to make that connection happen. Savage
Awesome.
Media Radio. This is what we do, y'all. We're about making change and making impacts in life. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us, Justin. We really appreciate you.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you. Be
Thank you so
blessed.
much. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Coco,
I
check
love
it in.
it. I love it.
Yeah.
I
That's what
love
I'm
that
talking about.
I love that we get to delve into people's lives and stories and also make connections with people, because the more people come and share their situation, the more lives we can change by letting them know that, other people are going through the same struggles and it's not just them. So definitely serving its purpose here on Free Yourself Saturdays.
Mm. That's
Oh,
what
we
I'm saying.
have our buddy Daquani says police protect policy, not people. Absolutely agree. To a point, I must say. I do know some police officers, especially state police. I know they are for the people, but there are many that do. They want to make a name for themselves and they want to make those quotas and they want to, rise through the ranks. So they do definitely not have the people in people first. The people are not first. And I do agree with that partly. Yes, there are some that are totally against, you know, the the whole protect and serve. It's more just to serve yourself. So I totally agree. Again, he says police protect policy, not people. Let us know if you agree with Daquan. We can definitely, start a discussion via chat. Guys, always please, if you can, let us know your 2 cents on chat. Again, it's Spreaker. If you're here, you already know it's Spreaker. If you guys, yeah, I forgot you guys can't hear me. So if you're here, please chat. I forgot the live can't hear me. Whatever. If you guys are
Right.
here, please let us know you're here. We need your opinions. We need your 2 cents. We need to strike some chords. We need to get a conversation going. So please hit us in chat. We will more than likely shout you out. So, publicity. So definitely please hit
For
us up in
sure.
chat. And again, we appreciate you, Daquan. You're awesome. You always keep the conversation going. You keep it
That's right.
live.
He
We
always knows
love
what to say,
you.
right? Always knows what to say. Shout out to family. Like, shout out to Justin.
Yes.
Shout out to Daquan, for keeping
Yes.
it, tuning in and keeping it real because, all it takes is one listen, to keep you,
Exactly.
motivated to keep going. So I really appreciate that. I'm hoping that to get Chris on, but I'll just introduce
The
there's a
next one.
GoFundMe right now. If you're tuning in, of course, you know about our Savage Media page on Facebook. Please like us if you haven't already. Like and share us, whoop, whoop, so you can keep us up doing what we love to do. The GoFundMe page is on there. We have a GoFundMe for Carlos. We're really trying to um, do anything we can to help get our brother out. At the end of the day, I cannot wait to hear Carlos's voice on freaking wax with this podcast to figure out what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like it has to be so much going through his mind, and I feel my heart goes out to to Chris and Carlos because this has to be, something very traumatic in the moment. If you look at the videos and you listen to what's going on and how things are transpiring, it has to be crazy. All these things transpire within, days of each other or within at least 2 weeks of each other. So to
Yeah, it's
get this on
crazy.
comment, that is crazy.
It's crazy. Remind people on live that if they want to hear the full conversation, they got to go on Spreaker. They got
Live.
to listen to us live. We are live. We are the
If
full
you're live
conversation,
right now, we have
everything.
people listening. Please go to Spreaker.com/Savage Media Radio and listen to us live. You only see me. I'm on Facebook Live for a reason. I'm waiting to do a live call for in regards to our topic tonight with our brother Carlos Dillard and his husband Chris Dillard. So that's why we're on live. So if you're on live now
Exactly.
and you're listening, please go over to Spreaker.com/Savage Media
If the
Radio.
URL
And
doesn't
listen.
work, you can tell them to just find us under Savage Media Radio if they go to Spreaker.com.
If the Euro doesn't work, all you have to
Yeah.
do is type in go to Spreaker.com and type in Savage Media Radio. Bam, it'll pop up somewhere. You'll see us right there.
Yeah.
SMR in black background with white writing in red.
Sexy
It'll
ass
be there.
logo.
Sexy ass, stay savage, and all that good stuff. Shout out to Coco for her, her great mind putting that together.
I
Um,
try.
for sure, that's what I'm talking about. There is something else that I did want to bring up
Hmm.
on for yourself tonight, and it's and this is a situation I definitely want to get your opinion on Coco
Of
because
course.
there is something that's been going around lately that I've noticed, and there's a big disrespect between women in management and jobs lately. I've had numerous of women, especially now, if you're tuning in live to Spreaker.com, if you're tuning in live to Instagram, know that what I'm talking about right now is how women are being mistreated in the workplace based on being mistreated by their management, male management at that. I've had coworkers, come to me in my current job being mistreated by management, and I've had friends come to me that's been mistreated, like that's been getting sexual advances and all kind of stuff from their management, and it's really starting to bother me that this is with a president that says, grab him by the pussy, and
Hmm.
now the current disrespect of women in the workplace is really really becoming a problem. Um, Coco, though, you don't work in the workplace because you're a boss bitch, so you don't have to deal with,
Exactly. But I've had
I
my
totally agree.
share. I've had my
Please, can
share.
you, from a women's standpoint, can you tell us what that's like, first of all? For Because I've experienced things with manager. I've never really had anything like that, so I can't really speak on that in regards to experience. But I would
Mm.
love to hear what is that coming from a woman, what that's
Well,
like.
I tend to dabble sometimes because I love to stay productive. So even, with my businesses, sometimes I even like go try to do an office job just because I love to stay productive. Slower
Right.
seasons, I want to kind of just keep my money rolling and keep, just my mind going. I always like to learn. I always feel like you can never learn enough. You can never get enough experience. So I always try to like, pick up some things sometimes. But in the previous years before I started doing my businesses full time, my experience is actually, I think, I don't know if it's slightly different than, the topic that you've posed, but it's more of I noticed that it's an underlying disrespect because when I'm being interviewed by males, which I mostly am being interviewed by males,
Mhm.
I find that if I come with some type of confidence, if I come with some type of proof of my work, my validity in the position that I'm applying for, I feel like they get very intimidated, and in that return they try to dumb you down. And I've noticed that a lot. Like I'll come in with like vast experience and well overqualified, and I have the perfect schedule that they're looking for, and in the back of my mind I know I don't need this, so I'm going to come into it with being confident.
Mhm.
And I've even seen guys look at each other, and then as soon as after I tell them my experience and they look at my resume and they see this woman put together with gray on a power color, like I know my shit. And they look at
Well,
each other and they start asking questions as if, you know, just to undercut my experience or undercut my just what I've brought to the table. I remember this one incident where I was interviewed by two males. It was a weird kind of
was a group interview?
environment. What'd you say?
Group interview, two males?
Yeah, I was interviewed by two males, sorry. And it was a weird environment. There was a couch in the middle of this big wide room that was their office, and they were at their two desks. None of them came over and sat with me at the couch or tried to be any kind of professional and welcoming. They just sat at their separate desk, and I was on this couch in the middle. So
Hmm.
one of them asked me, what was my last job. I told them I worked fairly far. I worked all the way. Well, they asked me why I left my last job, and the reason was because I worked fairly far. I worked about 45 minutes out, which was not a big deal. But coming home, the traffic would cause me to come home. It would take me about 2.5 hours to get home. So that's why I left, because it was putting mileage on my car. I would get home at 8. I wouldn't have any quality of life because I have to go to sleep and do it all over again. So I explained that to them. Again, had all the experience, everything was needed, and then they proceeded to say, so it looks to me like you can't handle pressure. And I'm like, excuse
Oh,
me? He goes, yeah, it seems that you can't handle pressure, because if the struggle of the ride home caused you to quit a job, then you must not be able to handle pressure. I said, sir, no, I handle pressure perfectly fine. I just have a family. I am a wife. I have a business that I told you, that I let you know and you were impressed with, that I juggle at the same time. I also have, I need a work life balance. So for me, it was not working out. Plus, I have a car, which includes a car note, which includes also gas and insurance and all
right.
that. That is why I thought I made a responsible decision to leave that job. That was the only reason. I even told them I loved the work, I loved the experience, I would stay there if I could, but that was the only reason. So after that, they were like, "Oh, okay, okay." So after that, they proceeded to ask me about my experiences at that job. I said that I was one of the general managers. It was managed by myself and two other females. The corporate company owned our location, so they would pop in every now and then.
Mhm.
And they were like, "Oh, well, how are your management skills?" I said I had a staff of 27 people. Every one of them are punctual. They know their jobs in and out. I run a well-oiled machine. I was pretty much throwing out all my
Got
stuff.
it.
And they were like, "Oh, a team of 27. Okay, that's fairly small." And I said to him, I said, "Sir, I'm one woman, and that is the team that I've been given. It's not a choice. That's how big the business is." And I feel like that is extremely impressive, considering that I came from managing none to managing 27 individuals. And then
Mm.
to top it off, I have a business where I manage 10 or 12 people as well. So I just feel like the more that you put yourself out there as confident and full of experience, the more that they try to just undercut it. And I feel that's where the disrespect is. I'm sorry if I was long-winded, but I wanted to give that example because I don't know if a lot of females have gone through that. I don't know if they've picked up on it because it is something that's subtle. So, if you didn't, I understand. But if you think back to it, you might have had a situation where, you felt like you were being questioned for no reason, or your experience was being picked apart. And I feel like that's something that's really happening gradually as we get more brave and as we get more power in corporate life and in anything. The more people, the men fight back and want to undercut your experience and ask you a bunch of questions and, to see if you're legitimate. And so that's kind of where my experience with that has come from.
So based on, you feel like having that confidence and being confident in who you are as a woman
Mm,
has had you walk into a place and be treated differently just because you're confident in your skills and
exactly.
your abilities.
They
Wow.
want you to feel like they're above you. They want you to feel like you have to come to them for information. It's not even, I'm not saying, I don't like to generalize. It's not a whole quality of men, but some men who have a position of power want to keep feeling as if they're holier than thou. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's they have well, basically, I mean, they have the holier than thou complex. No one is above them. They have their knowledge. They keep their knowledge. They don't want to pass it on. They just want a receptionist. And honey, I'm not here to be a receptionist. I'm here to be a business partner. I can help you grow your business. The position was to help you guys market. So don't treat me like I'm going to be an intern. So that's kind of how, I feel that the disrespect is being spread around amongst, females in the workplace. But that's from my experiences. I know a lot of women are going to have other experiences, and I really want you guys to chime in on chat. It's very important to get your information out there because there's people like me. Like I said, I don't know if there's people out there that have had my experience. So if you have, let us know. Definitely.
For sure, for sure. Thank you, Courtney, for sharing that from a woman's standpoint.
No
Wow.
problem.
Yeah, because you never really see things, no, until you see things from someone else's point. And I think it's important for as men to really realize and understand that sometimes we may be subconsciously doing these kind of things if we're men of power and not know it. And so I think
Exactly.
it's important to really self-evaluate and say, "Wow, I didn't know that, something I did may have affected someone that way, or may have affected, any woman that way." And I feel like it's important to really pay attention to that. So thank you for
Now, my
speaking up.
question for you, Choi.
Hmm.
What made you bring this topic up? What made you, have you had an experience with someone, a female in your life, saying how stressful it is to interview as a female? Just can you elaborate on what made you bring this topic, to free yourself?
Yes. So I've had within the last week, I've had yesterday some crazy stuff went down. One of my coworkers, where a manager was disrespectful to her in a public setting at work in front of everyone, and it's not the first time that this has happened with that particular manager. And my best friend, who also works as a server, has had the same issue with this guy. And I feel like it's important that they know that they have a voice. And I feel like because they're women and they experienced it together, that they band together. And I think that was most important for me. I said, I got a little time with all three of them yesterday after all this had happened. And I even spoke with the other girl who was via text, and she was like, "Thank you so much for reaching out." It's just that little thing, even just me reaching out and saying, I heard about what happened. I apologize that you went through that, and giving her the power that she needs to say, "You can speak up about it because it's not okay." And she did. And so because of that, it made me, it really touched my heart, and I wanted her to call in. But a lot of people are really um, afraid to call into a podcast. They're a little, um, on
It's
edge about it.
uncomfortable sometimes. It's hard to speak up. Like, me, I'm just learning this whole speak my emotions thing. Thank you, Troy, by the way. So it's hard
Hello,
to really,
shout out for yourself.
be open. It's hard. It's like you're expressing your vulnerability, and people don't like to do that because you have pride and you always want to look like you have your shit together. But at the end of the day, none of us have our shit together. We all go through stuff. We're all struggling and we're all hurting to some degree. So I encourage people to really call in, and you can be anonymous. You don't have to have your name. We don't have to know where
Be
you
anonymous.
work.
Right.
Call in.
Yeah, I think it's important that people understand that. I think you really helped me understand that because I'm more like, no, I want to know what's up. Tell them what it is, and you're like, no, it doesn't have to. I'm more
It's
like,
hard, yeah.
right. So I get it. Like, and I think that's something that I've been reiterating to people and getting out there. Like, hey, you don't have to really say your name. Just say,
Yeah.
situation that's going on, or Susie. Susie could be anybody. But the platform is here, and that's what it's all about. The People's Platform. This is for you. Saturday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Is
Hmm.
definitely for the people, and I think that's why we're here, and that's what the platform is all about. And we can see week after week, we've really been making, marks and starting out. And I'm so, so, so proud of what we're doing thus far.
Exactly. And for your friend, if she's listening, I want to say just stand up for your rights, stand up for yourself. You don't have the right to be treated anyway. You know, do what you have to do to stand your ground, and you're gonna come out on top. I know that. So just wanted to share that, a word of that since she wasn't able to join us. Um, Also in the chat, Daquan actually left us a comment. He
Go ahead.
said, I never subscribe to the idea that women are not deserving of equal opportunities as men. I have been raised by women my whole life and seen women do more phenomenal things than any quote unquote superman. Superhero. Men are threatened by the modern ladies, who are now dominating the workplace and taking their natural leadership role. Women have always been able to multitask and create something out of nothing. A strong woman, especially black, is inspirational to me for many reasons. One, I have a daughter. Two, they are more focused and driven, in my opinion, which is very beautiful. Thank you for saying that. Wholeheartedly agree. Definitely the modern woman. Is intimidating. I'm sorry. We're bad bitches, as Troy said. Like, we are
Hashtag
bad
that is
boss
a
bitches, and
no.
you're going to have to deal with it. I don't know what to tell you, More and more women are going to be like me and not settle for you talking down to us, for us. We're not going to settle for less. As much as you want to dish it out, we're going to fight back. So definitely, Daquan, thank you again, holding it down in the chat.
Shout out to you, man.
All
We really,
right.
really love it. We really appreciate it. And this is the kind of conversation that we need. This is exactly what we want for Free Yourself, because
Exactly.
this is what the platform is all about. This is
Exactly.
what it's all about. If you are anyone and you're listening to the sound of my voice and you're out there, and there's
Hmm.
something on your heart that you want to talk about, that you want to have your voice heard, that you want to put out there for maybe help somebody else, something, please write us in the chat. Please let us know. We are here for you, ladies and gentlemen. This is your platform. We want to make sure that you're given every chance you can to spread the word. We want to have you call in and be inspired and motivating from us, giving you the inspiration, motivation, and also being able to inspire and motivate other people who are listening out there. Once the recording is over, it is available for the world to listen to and for the world to
Oh,
be inspired
yes.
by. And it's important that we utilize the people's platform and let them know that, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, yes.
And so it's very, very, very important, and very, very, very important. And with the last couple of minutes, is there anything that's been on your mind or on your heart this week, Coco, that you want to just get off your chest, that in regards to freeing yourself, just
You
in
know
general?
what? Since you brought up that topic, you can kill the live.
Okay.
We definitely did a good closeout for them, so you can kill the live for now. So that
Awesome.
they're gonna have to listen to us on Spreaker.
Ha ha
um,
ha.
but no, but since you mentioned the workplace, it's kind of for me. I have an issue for two reasons. I have tattoos. Everybody knows I have tattoos. I love tattoos. Tattoos are life. So, and I'm not going to cover them. I'm not going to put them in inconspicuous places. I don't care. I really don't care. I know I can make my own if somebody's not going to hire me over my tattoos.
Got it.
So, that's one issue is that the workplace, it's still taboo to have tattoos, and that's frustrating to me. But on top of that, because I do have Muslim and Arabic roots, I would like to get an Arabic tattoo. And I
Right.
know it's so sad in today's time that if I get a tattoo in Arabic writing, again, it's going to be another looking at me differently, asking me a million questions. Feeling like I'm beneath people because it's an Arabic tattoo. And I say this with experience
Mm.
because of my friend has an Arabic tattoo on her chest. She's an African American woman. She's not Muslim. She's not Arabic. She just thinks it's beautiful. Arabic writing is a beautiful writing. It's very romantic. Um, it adds a mystique, and a kind of like a whimsical aura to it because you got to ask, hey, what does that mean? I have a couple
Yeah.
tattoos in different languages.
Right.
But she said that someone looked at her tattoo and said, "You're not Muslim, are you?" And I'm like,
Mm.
it literally like shattered me because I'm like, what is that really where we are right now? So for that, I just feel so frustrated that you know it's gotten that bad, and people and the ignorance is just it's contagious. When it comes to Muslims and Arabics, and it's even harder if you're African American and you have Arabic roots, and and you're Muslim, and it just all that combined, it just makes it 10 times harder. So I just wanted to express that it's just truly frustrating. If you guys are out there in the corporate world, or if you guys are out there and you're a manager of a fast food restaurant, you work at a Starbucks, and you are a supervisor, please, if you can do your best to not judge a book by its cover, and also please don't judge us for maybe we have a tattoo on our wrist, maybe we have a portrait of someone on our arm that passed away. Like, if there are people with tattoos, there's meanings, there's things behind it. We don't smoke weed all the time. Like,
Yeah.
we're people who want to use our bodies for canvases. So that's one thing I want to send out there is please just try your best to be more in the now with tattoos. And then secondly, if someone is Muslim or someone is Arabic, please just not judge them, but please, like, judge your opinion of their skill set and everything based on their resume, not on their religion. They're not responsible for the things that some radicals of every religion have done. So please don't judge their religion based on whether they're going to be a good worker for your company, or whether they're going to cause trouble, or whether your customers, clientele, are going to look at you differently because you hired a Muslim. That is ignorance, and that needs to stop. So those are the two things I wanted to kind of get off my chest.
Amen. I appreciate you. Yes, ma'am. I appreciate you. Real talk, because that's important. Like, first of all, prejudging people is not going to really, help anybody. Because what is your judgment on them without even knowing who they are? How's that going to help you?
Exactly.
You know, how's that gonna, and then too, when it comes to resumes, it's a whole nother thing. Like, anybody can put anything on a resume and have a good talk. So if I put
Exactly.
something on my resume and I can talk good about it,
Mhm.
then what? Then what are you going to say? There's nothing you can say.
Exactly. There has to, it's just the proof is in the pudding, as grandma would say. Um, you got to just, look at their skill set, look at where they've come from. You can, even if they've doctored their resume, if you ask some real deep questions, you can get a feel for someone's experience and whether or not they're good for your company. Don't ask the basic, tell me about yourself, or explain the gaps in your employment, please. Like, be more intuitive than that. Ask deeper questions so you can find out A, what the person's personality is like, B, what their experience is and what they can bring to your company, and C, if they will be an asset to your company, or to the gig or the job that you're asking someone to do. Just be more intuitive. Make up better questions, guys. That'll definitely get you around their appearance, and it'll get you around their resume, lack thereof. Ask them questions. Get to know the individual in front of you. Don't just judge them.
Right. And I'm definitely it'll make me seem like my time is worth being here because you didn't give me the same questions you gave the last 12 people. So in that,
Exactly.
it's hard to, really go into a place and feel comfortable when you know that they're giving you generic ass questions that everybody else is doing. Come on. Like, at the end of the
Exactly.
day, how's that supposed to make you feel?
Yeah, it just makes you feel like one of the bunch, and it's unfair. But Troy, we have a few more minutes. Is there anything that you would like to let out and get out of your mind, your aura? What is on Troy's mind this week, the week of 2/3/18?
Yes, I think the last in closing for me is the last thing I posted on social media in regards to the word of the day, and it's, it doesn't cost no money. No, 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 let me bring it up exactly because it's very important. Like, words is power, and I feel like if you know that the words is power, then you utilize those things to the best of your ability. And I feel like that's the knowledge is power. So, word of the day is be you because there's only one of you. It doesn't cost you any money; it's free. And I think that realizing that individuality that you have, that uniqueness that you have,
Mhm.
you already have it. You wake up every day and breathe life, and it's there. You don't even have to say or do anything; it's there. But we try so hard each and every day to find out what that is, or to or be. We're so unhappy with a lot of things instead of looking at who we are and what we already have. Because we have the things we need most of the time. It's just that the things we want we don't have, and that's what we spend 85% of our life complaining. instead of,
Wow.
doing what you need to do to fix those things.
I
Some of
totally
us are struggling
agree.
because we are out here living a life that ain't ours.
Mhm.
What's for you is for you. You are unique. Every single one of you. God's just waiting on you to see that. Do you though? It's time for you to open your eyes and stay woke because some of y'all still sleep. And that's pretty much what I'm
Very
leaving with.
true. Very
Be
true.
you because there's only one of you and it doesn't cost you any money. It's free.
That's beautiful. And that's something that you should lead our people with. I swear, I feel like, Troy, I feel like you could be like the next voice of the people. Like, you could be up on a podium and lead people in a march. You got that vibe. You can
Listen,
do some big things.
listen,
Bigger
listen, I
things than
always
Savage
tell
Media
myself,
Radio, which is pretty up there.
hello, no. Listen, I used to tell myself all the time I was one of the king as a kid because I never could stand to see people going through things and not have
Mhm.
a voice. And I will fight for anybody. And it's funny that you said that because I really am. I feel like the voice of people. Like I'm definitely down to support a cause, especially if I believe in it. Now I don't believe in everything, and I'm not going to go against you if you believe in something. If I don't believe in, it. I'll just say God bless you. That to each his own. But opinions don't pay
Exactly.
bills. So at the end of the day, that's definitely something that people need to understand. Nobody's opinion pays your bills, ladies and gentlemen.
Mhm.
Not even your own opinions pays bills. You can't tell Con Edison I ain't pay my light bill because this person
Because
thinks I'm cute. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm popping on Instagram. They're gonna say, "Well, go
exactly.
ahead. We're gonna cut your Wi-Fi off because your phone's already off. So you're trying to be stunting on Instagram with this Wi-Fi. Not even cut your Wi-Fi off. Not even be able to post. How about that?
Exactly.
Since opinions pays your bills.
Real
So
quick, Daquan
yeah.
Carter in our chat says, "Great show once again, Troy and Coco. Thank you so much, dear. We appreciate you listening. We appreciate you supporting us. Our chat really is something that helps us move the conversation because we want to hear from you. This is not for us. We want to be able to be the platform for people to air out their 2 cents, their emotions. We talk about a lot of emotionally charged things, so we need to know, if other people are feeling the same way because we want to provide you guys with content that lets us know that we are making a change and we are helping others that are struggling. So please, please, the chat is super important. I can't stress that enough. Hit us up in chat. Also, please, if you have not already, please follow us on Facebook. That's where you can get a lot of updates about our shows and, if there's things that are postponed, life happens. We don't want to keep you guys hanging. If you're sitting there listening and you're like, hey, they haven't shown up yet, you can get the
Right.
updates via Facebook. Also, Instagram, we have a lot of funny posts, a lot of recaps from things we've talked about. Again, SoundCloud, Spreaker, of course, please follow us on Spreaker so you can always get a little ping when we're live or when episodes have been uploaded. So definitely follow us on social media. Troy, you want to take us out?
That's right. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Again, this we brought to you live each and every Saturday night at 7 p.m. Eastern via Savage Media Radio, sponsored by, of course, Speaker.com. We can't do anything without them being the base of it all. So we thank you guys so much. You guys can follow us on Facebook and on Instagram because we're going to go live more often now and eventually go live on YouTube. So be
Yep.
paying attention to that. And also, I got mixed up in what I was saying,
It's
but you can
okay. You're
always
all
find
emotional. That's
us.
what we need.
Listen, that always happens to me on this show. I just get so worked up because it really means a lot to me to be able um, to be a vessel to give way for someone else to have a platform to do what it is that they love to do. And so, do what it is that they love to do, or say the things they need to say so they can free themselves. And I think it's most
Exactly.
important. Each and every week, we all go through things weekly, and I want you guys to know that I need you to free yourself on Saturday nights via Spreaker.com and the Savage Media Radio with Troy Weeks Music and my girl Coco helping me out. We appreciate you guys so much week after week after week. This is only the beginning. This is week 3.
Mm-hmm.
Only week 3, y'all. And it feels like, so it feels good and it feels amazing. So I can only imagine,
We're
you
gonna
know me.
go up from here.
Say that again.
We're only gonna go up from here.
Only gonna go up from here. That's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. Plan on, my vision is to have a show, a physical show, like talk show where people can come and sit and really ask questions and really get
We need
involved
to
with one
hook
another.
ourselves up with a Twitch so that like we can be in one place and broadcast and have people come. We gotta set things up, guys. Guys, we got some big plans coming. So if you want to be in on the ground level, you need to follow us now.
Definitely follow us now. We definitely shouted out people. Shout out to Noemi in Florida for being the first one in our
Yes,
chat room. I'll never
Noemi.
forget that. Shout out to her. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Appreciate any, all of you that's been, these last 2, 3 weeks now that's been calling in and just being a part. We really appreciate it because, it don't cost you any money. It's cost time. And thank you for your time, because you didn't have to participate. You didn't have to listen. You didn't have to log in. You didn't do anything. So we're very, very appreciative of that. We appreciate you. For show. Until next week, ladies and gentlemen, we're here each and every Saturday. Check us out. Follow us. You can always DM us if you have any questions throughout the week that you want us to talk about, any topics you want to talk about it myself or Coco or Under Savage Media Radio. You can find me, Troy Weeks Music, on any social media across any board. You can find Coco. Tell them where to find you, Coco.
You can find me on Instagram at It's Coco Blue, and you can find me at Facebook at Courtney Blue without a U, CORTNEYBLUE, like the color. And till next week, as always, stay
Stay savage,
savage.
ladies and gentlemen. So nice to see you.